Well, the Airfix range for 2025 has been unveiled. As you can see from the background here, there's Dale talking about the first releases. Overall, pretty good, I have to say. Some nice surprises coming in there. I've made a list of the entire release range actually, so I think we'll just sort of run through it step by step. Starting off, as you can see on the screen there, with the space theme. I'm pleased to announce that they are bringing out the shuttle with the boosters. I have to say that compared to the Revell kit is far superior in terms of quality and mould. And the good thing is you've got all 6 space shuttlecraft, so you know, in a way it'd be a good tribute to the 2 that were lost, which was Challenger and obviously Columbia. And you've got the option of the other 4 craft. So I'm pleased about that. Even more pleased is the fact they're going to reissue the Saturn V rocket. Because in terms of mould and quality, having built it in the past, when I was a youngster, I have to say it is far, far more superior in quality. And it stands quite tall, obviously, even in 1144. So I'm extremely happy they're reissuing that, because that is definitely on my shopping list, those 2 for a start. But the one thing I'm pleased about is they are bringing out the Artemis rocket to go with it. So at some point in the spring, all 3 of those will be launched. Excuse the pun. And what price they're going to be, we have no idea at the moment. That goes for all the entire Airfix range. They're reissuing the Battle of Britain set in 1/72nd, which obviously has got the Spitfire Mark 1A, Hurricane Mark 1, 109E5, and 111P2. Funnily enough, I was thinking of starting to collect all the aircraft that were involved in the Battle of Britain, so that is a good start. Maybe they preempt me, I didn't know. Because basically I haven't really got the room to get them all in 148s, but there you go. And then following on from that, Dale announced the release range they're bringing out 1/72nd. They're reissuing the Fokker Eindecker. I won't be getting that because that's just too small, to be honest with you, for 1/72nd. I prefer the Edward 148th kit. So yeah, they've got an FW190 F8 and new markings that is coming out. An early Hurricane Mark 1 with a set of 3 new markings. I think they're all sort of pre-war actually. Read about 1937-38, so that's good. The BE2C, that's coming out again, so that will go nicely with the Eindecker because they were the scourge. And I don't know if everybody remembers the BBC series, what was it called? Hang on, let me have a look at the videos. What was it called? Excuse me a minute, guys, I'm just going to have a look in the video live because I've got the old series here. Wings, that was it. Oh, I've got my knees a bit, my nose is old and dribbled. Yeah, which were featured on the the early years of military aviation in World War One. So I'm glad they're bringing that one back. They're bringing the Blenheim Mark 1F night fighter version out. That's the one with the glazed front cockpit. So that's interesting. And an HE111H6, the one with the torpedoes underneath it. The B-17G, they're reissuing that in 2 sets of markings. One particularly I'm pleased about, again, they bring out again, is the Mark III that was used as a sort of a jamming radar station. They did initially release that as a Mark III, I think about 4 or 5 years ago. Because I am trying to collect most of the aircraft that were involved in the bombing campaign. So I'm glad that's coming out again. So that's definitely on my shopping list. They've also got the Victor BK Mark II. stroke SR2 coming out, so I'm pleased about that because that'll go nicely with the Black Buck Falcon. ME410 is coming out with new markings, and coincidentally, if anybody is a member of the Airfix club, they're actually reissuing that in a captured scheme as well as a Luftwaffe scheme, which I think is out some point now. I'm not sure, so look out for that one. The Chinook, they're doing it as an late HC Mark 1. One which was used by the SAS out in the Gulf War scheme, and I think they're doing it in a commemorative 1990 scheme. And if anybody remembers the Revell bringing it out, it was like a sort of red and black dragon scheme on the back of the tail which ran down the fuselage, so that's coming out. They're also doing another version of the B-24. That's the D variant with the glazing on the front. So that's interesting to note. They're doing it in Lady Be Good, which was, I think, used out during the early part of their North African campaign, and another set of markings which was used out in the Pacific. So that's interesting. But what really I'm pleased about, because I was actually sort of super detailing the old Hillary HC Mark II Wessex, is they are bringing out a version of the Wessex. But it's far more, it's a retool. I must admit, from the CAD drawings, it did look super. They're doing it in the training scheme, and I think one which was used out in Uruguay later on. And the standard camo scheme around about the 1990s. So that is definitely on my shopping list, because the one that I've actually got at my brother's, I may do an alternate scheme to that, because I was going to do it as an aircraft that was based at Odium. But now this is coming out, I think I'll use that one instead. Right, so that's good. Now, in regard to what they're bringing out in 148th, really happy about this, because I've been after this version of the Spitfire for ages. Is the PR Mark 19. And they've got it in, I think, three colour schemes. One, a preserved example used by Rolls-Royce, and two war versions. So I'm really happy about that, because that one is a favourite Mark of Spit of mine. The Nat T1's being brought out again, but coincidentally I actually got that one second hand on a Veteranus Kits, believe it or not. So that's sitting in my stash. So I'm glad they're bringing that one back out. Defiant, the Night Fighter variant, they're bringing that back again for 148, so I'm glad about that, because that's a very unique fighter, and I would love to get my hands on the 148 kit of that, because everybody who's seen it said it is a brilliant kit, so of a unique aircraft, so I am very pleased about that. They're bringing out, I think, a Spit Mark 1, sort of fairly early version again. So that should be a good moulding. I think they're all sort of pre-war schemes again, same as in the 172nd Hurricane. So that's interesting. The Lynx AH7, which I know my brother's going to be very pleased about, because he's been after that for ages. That's the army version with the skids. That's coming back out. That's brilliant, and I wouldn't mind getting my hands on that myself, because I do love the Lynx. It's a very versatile aircraft. One thing I am pleased about, the Gannet that they had a lot of success with, that they issued last year, they've brought that out, the new version, which is the COD variant, in that sort of black, blue, grey scheme. And one of the versions is based on the old Ark Royal in 1970. So that one, that's a definite one in my shopping basket. I wouldn't mind telling you. It does look a good kit. They're also bringing out the Spitfire Mark 9E. And the one thing I am very, very happy about, and very pleasantly surprised, they're bringing out the two-seat TR9 in the one in a version which I think was used on the film set of the Battle of Britain, and the other one in the Irish Air Corps scheme. Now, the Irish Air Corps scheme does look interesting, so if I get that, I'm going to do it in that scheme. So I'm looking very much forward. And lastly, they've retooled the Jaguar GR1 1A. That looks a beautiful, beautiful kit. They've really done their research on it. They've retooled it, which I'm very pleased about. It's a very unique aircraft. In fact, to be honest with you, it was a particular favourite of mine when it was in service. A real thoroughbred. And yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they may surprise us with a two-seat version later in the year. You never know. Depends on how this one sells. But I think that one is going to be flying off the shelves. Excuse the pun. That one's been sorely sought back after, particularly when Hilaire reissued the original release. I think it was around about mid last year. So I'm glad that they're bringing that beauty of a fighter out. That could be one that I will get hold of, and apparently it's coming out very soon. So keep your eyes out for that one, guys. Right. Then we go into the realms of military vehicles, starting off with their old traditional 176. They're bringing out the long wheelbase Land Rover with trolley. Also, they're bringing out the old British Army 4-ton general service truck. They did have that around about the 1980s, I think, and it's just is coming out again soon. So that'd be a nice little one if you want an old British truck. So there you go. And I actually remember them being around as well. So there you go. Also, you've got the Land Rover 1-ton truck coming out as well. So I know that's one that everybody's been after. It's a shame they're not bringing out 135th, but there you go. We don't know what they've got up their sleeves as in regards to surprise announcements, because they took us by surprise last year with the, I think, what was it that came out? The Sea King. Jungly, which has just recently been reissued in 148th. So they may possibly do a 148th Wessex, who knows? We'll have to wait and see, won't we, guys? Maybe that's something well, maybe that's something they've got in mind for next year, who knows? Then they've got the 105mm field gun, light field gun, which was used in the Falklands War. So I can see a few dioramas coming up there. So there you go. In regard to 148th, they've got the Albion refueling truck coming out again. The 15 weight ton truck. And obviously they got the old RAF ground crew set. Now that ground crew set I actually did on a diorama, if you remember, many years ago on the Battle of Britain group build with the Hurricane, and they are super little figures. So I'm glad. I must admit, if I'm going to be doing anything regarding the Battle of Britain, I might well get one of those sets in. So there you go. Now, 135th, which I'm pleased about. The Ferret Mark 1 is coming out. They're doing it in the markings of Gulf War scheme version and 2 other colour schemes. So that is definitely on my shopping list, because I did have the original release of the Ferret. Sold it on, unfortunately. But it did look a super little kit. So I might get that one back in the bag. But the one I'm really, really pleased about is the old Stalwart. They're bringing that out for the first time in injection molded plastic, because the only other one you could get was in resin, which was done by a company that is now defunct. Unfortunately, they've gone out of business. So I'm particularly pleased about that one. Apparently that one's coming out soon, so that is one I'm definitely going to grab, because I love the old Stolly. It harks back to the 70s, so yeah, that is definitely on my shopping list. Now, lastly, we're coming up to the vintage classics. They're bringing out the old 172nd stock with pup. That's not a bad little kit. I wish they'd bring it out 148th though, but who knows. The Hudson's coming back out, which is one I think everybody's been asking for. You've got the Jaguar GR1, which was originally released in 1970. So that might be on the cards for my shopping basket. And I'm particularly pleased they're bringing out the Puma again, because obviously this year, in fact a month from now, it's being retired from RAF service. And it's been in service since about 1971. It's been a real old workhorse, and that, alongside the newly released Wessex, is going to look awesome, because those are the two aircraft that I remember being stationed at RAF Odium, and I used to see them overfly my dad's shop quite a bit. So I'm particularly pleased they're bringing that one out again, and I'll be definitely be getting that one, that's for sure. They're also bringing out the Boeing Clipper, which is one I've been hankering for years. So that is definitely on my shopping basket. However, I'm disappointed they're not bringing anything else in regard to airliners out. But there again, we could be in for a surprise. We don't know. And a firm old favourite, which I've had previously, is the old Vostok M motor torpedo boats coming out again, which is brilliant. And the RAF Rescue launch, that is definitely on my shopping basket. And most essentially, the German E-boat. Now, that is brilliant they bring that back out, because that is one everyone's been after. And apparently it's a very good kit. So, overall, yeah, pretty good. Some pretty good forthcoming releases there. And I have to say, I think Airfix have pretty much got it right this year. Although I am disappointed yet again. There's no Nimrod, there's no VC10, there's no BAC 111, or the old 747-100. I was hoping the old Herc might see the light of day again, but no. Maybe it's saturated with Hercules at the moment. What with Zvezda doing a range of them, which are particularly good kits. Also Italeri as well. So obviously they've decided it's too saturated, so we're not going to issue it now. Maybe they'll do it on an anniversary or whatever, which I am a little bit disappointed with, because it was only, I think last year they retired them, or the year before. And that was an old stalwart of a workhorse for the RAF. The other thing I'm disappointed is that following on from the SRM-1 hovercraft, they haven't reissued the SRM-4 hovercraft, which was used over the used to sort of ferry people to and across the English Channel. Yeah, I was hoping that was going to come out, but overall, I have to say Airfix have got it right this year. And I really am looking forward to some of those new releases, particularly the Stolly, the B-17G Stroke Mark III, the Victor K2, SR2, the Jag 148th Jag retooled. That is a must. What else am I pretty happy about? I'm really looking forward to getting hold of. The early Mark 1 Spit and the PR19 Spit. Definitely want those. What else? I think that's pretty much it there. I'm surprised that they didn't issue any starter kits. Yeah, I am really sort of surprised about that. But as I say, they did surprise us with a few unscheduled releases, like the recently issued 148th Lizzie. I'm pleased that one's out, because I really want to get my hands on one of them. I did have one on my pre-order, but then Facebook kicked me off, and that's all gone out the window again. So that's probably gone to somebody else now, that the guy hasn't been able to get a hold of me, because obviously with Facebook going, my Messenger account's gone, so I'll have to get it elsewhere. But I don't know if you agree with me. I think Airfix have pretty much hit the mark, so kudos to them. The Gannet, that one might be a treat I might get myself this year, the COD version. I don't normally go into 148th naval aircraft, but maybe later in the year we might see the Phantom come out in 148th, who knows, or maybe it's for 2026, we shall see. But yeah, pretty much. The only other disappointment is that they're not reissuing the Nimrod yet again. They need to bring that one out. That was a good seller. I mean, the amount of money it's going for on eBay these days is ridiculous. So, you know, Airfix, Nimrod, please. But anyway, that's it for now, guys. I just thought I'd give my feedback on the Airfix 2025 release ranges, as I did in 2024 last year. I have to say this year, I think pretty much Airfix have got it right. And it will be interesting to see what surprise announcements we might well get as the year goes on. But anyway, that's it for now, guys. I'm still waiting to get some paints in for my figure of Arthur Shelby, so he's still sitting in black primer. I haven't been able to do anything more on that because obviously I've got other stuff going on at the moment, and but good stuff, positive stuff, not bad stuff. We shall see. But other than that, stay safe, and my heart goes out to all the people out in Los Angeles at the moment with that fire. Nothing worse than losing your home or possibly losing relatives, etc. So my heart goes out to you guys out there. Stay safe and keep well. So we're all thinking of you. But other than that, get a kit, keep yourself busy because it's good for your mental health. And be interesting to see what some of these new releases and the builds are like from the respective modelers on YouTube. I know I'm going to get on to Moss and the guys because they were waiting for the issues, range issue this afternoon. But I sat and watched through the official one myself. So I think they're fairly pleased about what's coming out. So there you go. Anyway, that's it for now, guys. Get kit crazy, happy modelling, and I will speak to you soon. Cheers.